avenuepodcast.net.
Hello, all my beautiful people. It is time once again for another amazing episode of If You Give a Dad a Podcast. So this week I have with me somebody that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. He is a wrestler out of the Texas area. He wrestles for Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, and he is the leader of the Greysin Family. A few months ago, I had on Nathaniel Greysin on the show, and so you kind of got a little bit of the story there. Well, now you get the other side of the story with Xander Greysin on this episode. We kind of go in depth into how the Xander Greysin character was created, as well as the Greysin family and a little backstory on it, how he developed the character, different things like that, and I'm very excited to have him on today. We talk about some other really cool subjects as well, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. And for those of you who are here just to listen to the Xander Greysin episode, welcome. I hope that you enjoy what you hear, and I hope that you stick around and listen to some of the other great episodes I have here as well. So, if you guys are as excited as I am, then let's get the show on the road.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Hey, Dad.
So where did you actually train at?
I made a really good career out of being able to bump, sell, and I had a punch me face.
I wasn't about to call you dad, so.
Seriously?
I felt like it was in an anime or something.
People get really mad at those videos for some reason. Like it triggers certain people. Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually lost as an infant, and I was taken in by a traveling group of independent wrestlers.
I love it. I'm excited for this one.
Bro.
Get punched in the face on the daily.
Do you always do these interviews with your shirt off?
What?
Man, this guy won't shut up.
All right, everybody. So today I have with me a guy that I've kind of got to talk to a little bit over social media and everything. And I've actually had one of his fellow family members on the show in the past. And I'm talking about the Greysin family. They're part of Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling. I've also seen some of their work that they've done with Ozark Mountain Wrestling, which is kind of in my area as well. It's a Texas-based group, and he is the leader of the Greysin family, and that is Xander Greysin. Man, how are you doing today?
I am doing phenomenal today. It has been a wonderful day. Just basically waking up and just had the best of moods, knowing that my family is ready to take on any newcomers or to take on any new members to our family if anyone is interested.
Awesome. Yeah, I did see not too long ago you posted that you have a new member of your family.
Yes, the Wolf NDA. He is our newest member. He is half man, half beast. He's from a small village in Africa called Cameroon. And to get in contact with him, I did a little traveling myself. I saw some of his work online, and I just said to myself, I need this guy a part of my family. Yeah. I need a new beast. And so when I contacted him, he was very skeptical about it at first because he didn't really understand English. He was still speaking in his strong accent in his native tongue, so
I got you.
He wasn't very sure. But over time, him and I have built chemistry, and now we have a title match coming up on May 6th for the Wolf.
Right on. Yeah, I saw the video that you posted, and that is one thing that has really grabbed me. The first time that I ever saw anything about the Greysin family, it was a video that you guys did for when you were at the last Ozark Mountain Wrestling show. And it really, it grabbed my attention, especially with just the intensity of when you're speaking and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the story behind the Greysin family, it's one that just, it would grab your heart, but in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it. Myself, Xander, and then my brother Nathaniel, um, we kind of put this family together and just started speaking to different crowds, different people at different wrestling shows, and next thing you know, we have a ton of followers, a ton of new family members, people just asking us to be a part of the family.
Right.
Uh, with our family, you can't just ask us. We have to give you permission. You have to go through a certain amount of trials to be in our family. So when I found the wolf, I didn't just bring him in. I said, I want you part of my family, but I need you to do these 3 tasks for me first. Same thing with Nathaniel Greysin. He had to do 3 different tasks. The first task was win a championship belt. Nathaniel Greysin did that. The second thing was to defeat me in a one-on-one fight, and Nathaniel Greysin did that as well. And then the third thing was to sacrifice something that you hold dearly, and that was Nathaniel's soul. He gave his soul to me, therefore giving him all of himself to me, and now I am in charge of him. And anyone that wants to be a part of the family, they must understand that they will no longer be in charge.
Yeah. So let's kind of get into this a little bit. What was the inspiration behind creating the Xander Greysin character?
So Xander Greysin, he kind of came up out of the blue. There was one night I was hanging out with a few friends from Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, and Nathaniel was in that group, and they told me that I should join Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, but I've always been skeptical about joining wrestling because I have seizures.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure exactly how to go about it, how to talk to the coaches about it, but they gave me that push, and then they gave me the idea of being a manager. And when I got that idea, I just started building off of managing. I started looking at Paul Heyman stuff. I started looking at James Mitchell stuff from NWA. And the more I looked at it, the more I just realized that it's really fun to play a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds bad, and I know that my parents would probably just not like me saying that, but it's okay. They understand.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot more fun to be bad, because in my eyes, I feel like I can get more out of myself and more out of the crowd at a show when being a bad guy, as opposed to being the good guy.
Right.
There's not a lot. I mean, the good guy comes out, everyone cheers, woo, sure thing, yeah. And then, but the bad guy comes out, and it's just a whole different vibe, especially with the Greysin family. We've faced so many different opponents. We faced Haas Holding, we faced the City Boys, we faced the Rowdy Rough Boys up at Ozark Mountain. We've had so many different opponents, but when we've come out on stage for all those matches, everyone had just dropped silent, because it's something that they've never seen before, or they have seen it, but it's just been a long time that when they see the Greysin family, they just think, oh my gosh, these guys have it. They're just missing that one item. And I think we did find that one item in the wolf.
Okay.
But I am also looking for a female to be a part of the Greysin family. That way we can start taking the female championships from Misty Marks. She's got 3 title belts right now, and I would love to have one of those, but I need a female to take that. We can't fight her ourselves, so there's that. But like I said, when we entered the scene, everyone's jaw just dropped when I
Right.
cut my first promo at training practice.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches, their eyes were wide, their jaws were dropped. They had no idea what I said at the beginning because I said it in Latin, and so I would speak. I would say in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but
Uh-huh.
in Latin.
Okay.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. And that was always the beginning of my promos. And so with me being this evil character that's portraying sort of, it's hard to say it, but portray the devil.
Right.
But then at the same time saying in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, it brought attention
Yes.
to everyone.
Yeah.
It brought that factor that, oh man, these guys, they are not only evil, but they're using someone else's words, someone else's prophecy to build their legacy.
Whenever I've been listening to some of these, because even today I went through and I watched a bunch of like your promos back that you've done and everything, and the one that did stick out to me was the James Mitchell. I was seeing a lot there, but another one, Kevin Sullivan, was another one that came to mind for me when it came to the style and the kind of darkness and ominous feeling to the characters that you are portraying. And I mean, it catches your attention, and that was one thing I'm not sure if it was your Instagram, or maybe it was your Twitter. You have the Latin phrase there at the top as well in your bio, and I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I love how all of this is kind of has come together. It's making for a very interesting story.
It really is, and it's to this day it's still not perfected. Nathaniel and we are definitely figuring out different ways to incorporate everyone to be a part of the Greysin family, whether it be a major baby face and somehow we can get them to turn and they become a bad guy. Next thing you know, that now they're a part of this faction, and then the faction just grows more and more and more. Right. We want our faction to be the strongest faction in professional wrestling. Now I know there's different promotions, there's the big leagues, there's local, all of that. But we're just trying to build our faction into something that people will be talking about. We want to be able to steal the show with doing the less work.
Right.
I've always been told by Rodney Mack and Jazz that less is more.
Right.
So I don't like to get involved in the matches very much. If I have to, if Nathaniel's losing and he just needs that extra nudge out the door, I will. But for the most part, I like to be in the head of the opponent because I'm already in the head of my followers. I'm already in their head. Yes. They're hearing the same exact words that I'm telling them every day before their matches, before they go to bed. I'm telling them different words just to make sure that they stay with the family. But during a match, if I'm in the opponent's head, it makes it easier for Nathaniel or the family pet, Carver, to take over.
Right.
And if I have to distract the ref, I will, but that, like I said, that's in dire needs. I've invested in these guys in my family that I trust them to represent the Greysin family the way that I would represent if I was in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple things that, kind of grabbed me here that I wanted to kind of ask you about and everything. I'm sure it takes a lot of time to get into like a state of mind to get into character, I'm guessing. What is it like for you to prepare for going out there? What do you have a certain process that you go through to prepare yourself to get into that character?
Yes, it actually takes about an hour and a half for me to step into that evil character, because when I get to a show, I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. I'm go get it. Let's set this up. Let's have a great show.
Right.
As soon as I have my gear on, I throw my headphones on and I start listening to just not necessarily dark music, but music that was made from movies, that was background music that just has this intense devilish feel to it.
Okay.
I'll also listen to just heavier music as like rock, to have the lyrics in there. So at first I'll listen to like some type of evil classical music, and then I switch it over to evil rock music.
Okay.
Where that way I can, the words that are used in the rock songs, I might be able to manipulate those words into my own, and it puts me in this state of mind that I am the devil, that I am the Joker almost.
Yeah.
I have one song in particular that gets me there the quickest to play this character. It's called Joker Song.
Okay.
And it's literally about Batman and the Joker, but it's the Joker singing to the Batman from the comic book, The Killing Joke.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a huge DC, Marvel, Star Wars nerdy guy.
I love it. Yeah.
So anything that I could use from their villains across the nerdy galaxy, then I've looked at it. I've thought about it. Darth Maul, I've used words from him.
Yeah.
But this Joker song, it just talks about where would you be without me? Type of song. But the way that it's said, it just has this evil tone of voice.
Right.
And so that song, I'll start singing along with that song. And next thing you know, I come out of this dark corner because I put on the makeup too, so I'll get my eyes all blacked out.
Right.
I'll put my scar on my face, and then I come out of this dark corner just a completely different person than when I went in, and I feel it. And throughout the rest of the show, I'm Xander Greysin, and I can't just turn that switch off sometimes. A lot of people can be a good guy and still be fine, as opposed to me playing this evil character.
Right.
I don't just leave that character immediately when we're done out in the ring. It takes me maybe about a full day actually to come back into reality. Like, I know everything's going on.
Right.
I'm conscious, like I'm still positive about everything.
Yeah.
But to really pull myself back, it takes about a full day to get out of that mindset of this evil character. And a lot of people don't realize that. I thought I was going into some type of I started going into some type of depression because of this evil character. Because I've put so much effort into playing this character that I started to hurt myself mentally. And then I started talking to Rodney Mack and Jazz and how I can control that.
Right.
And realize that Xander Greysin and that Peter Lohmeyer are two different people.
Right.
Xander Greysin isn't real. Peter Lohmeyer is the real guy.
Right.
So they started I have to be able to tell apart which one is which. And like I said, the full day length of coming back, it's sometimes tough. Because the day after the show, I want to hang out with friends and everything, but I'm mad for some reason. But I realize that I'm still playing the character.
Yeah.
When I wake up, I still have that evil feel. But the depression, that everyone's going through some type of depression, that just enhanced it. But I'm doing great. Don't think that I'm like going down a rabbit hole or anything.
Yeah. No. You definitely take your character very serious, and I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love playing this character.
Yeah.
He's so much fun. scaring the kids when I get out there in the for the match.
Yeah.
I don't like. I look for the kids that are super into it, and I have made a few kids cry.
Oh wow.
Are just because I've gotten in their face and I've told them just these evil things. For example, this one show we had at it was called Chica Fest. Wasn't too long ago. I think it was last month. And I cut a promo, and my closing line is, "When the devil knows your name, things are never in your favor." And then I just do this sadistic laugh, and I got that laugh from the Joker. Joker's my favorite villain of all time.
Okay.
So I tried to copy his laugh, but not to the extent of Mark Hamill, because I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I hit puberty at a young age, and I've had a deep voice ever since. So this little girl, when I cut this promo, she walks up to me, and she had this most nerve-wracking, scared face. She was holding her dad's hand so tightly that she felt the evil just like radiating off me.
Wow.
So she looked at me and asked, "What happens if the devil knows your name?" And I just got down. I got down on my knees, got in her face, and she had this pink stuffed animal bunny. And I grabbed it and I say, "If I know your name, things like these won't exist, and you'll be left standing alone. No parents, no candy, nothing." And she, like, the second that I took the stuffed animal from her hand, she started screaming, crying. And the dad and the mom knew was a work. They understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I gave the stuffed animal to the parents, and she got it back, of course. And then after I got out a gimmick, I got undressed, got the makeup off. I went and looked for her, and I went up to her and I told her, I said, "Honey, I don't really play that character. That's just me pretending.
Right.
I'm not actually the devil."
Yeah.
Like, I had to reassure her that
yeah,
I'm not gonna take away her stuff.
right.
And her parents did the same thing too. They stayed for the entire show. I got booed at, which is that's what I'm supposed to do.
You got the heat, man.
Yeah, exactly. And this little girl during the match at that show, this little girl comes up to the ring, because there was no barricade, and it was a small little show for a small event. So we were just having fun with it. And I'm walking around the ring as Xander Greysin, and she just comes up. I'm so tuned in on the match that when she comes up, she's getting ready to smack me, and I turn around and I just scream at her like I am in the zone, and I just go, "Ah!" because we're losing.
Yeah.
And so, like, my who was fighting that day? I believe it was, actually, I think it was Wolf that day. That's the first time that I teamed up with Wolf.
Okay.
So yeah, he was fighting that day, and he was losing. So when I screamed in her face, she again started crying, and oh my goodness, she just started swinging her hands like she's never been in a fight before. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. Somebody come get your kid. You know, like, I gotta pay attention to the match.
Yeah.
So then she stops, but all the other little kids around started seeing that too. So they started chasing me around the ring, completely forgetting about the match.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. So it got to the point. It got to the point to where, like, I literally grabbed the ref and pulled him out and just said, "Hey, man, control the crowd." And eventually the parents, they got control of their kids, and they started having a good time watching the match again.
Yeah.
But it almost sounds bad when I say this, but I really enjoy scaring people.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it fits so well with your character. It's perfect, you know. So
Right. Right. And so like I really can't wait for Halloween to come back.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna have a blast during October.
for sure.
But the people that have seen us in say Lockhart, Texas,
Hmm.
or the people that have just in general, the people that have seen us, everyone has come up to me at some point. I shouldn't say everyone. Few people have come up to me at some point
Hmm.
while we're tearing down the ring or while I'm not dressed up anymore and just say, "Hey, I love your stuff. This whole thing is amazing." And the best part is like I'm I'm religious. I believe in God.
Hmm.
So a lot of people ask me that since I'm playing this character, does that do I feel bad for using the devil as a way to spread a message? Uh, I don't.
Right.
I don't. But at the end of the day, I still pray. I ask God, like help me to better this character in a way that suits, I guess, suits him
Uh-huh.
type of deal. Not to
Yeah.
be not to sound offending or in any type of way. But
No.
I've even asked pastors because I wanted to quote scripture at one point. But I asked a pastor and I was like, "Hey man, how would you feel if I quoted a Bible verse?" And he goes, "Well, it depends on what Bible verse you want to quote." And I go, "All right, well, it's though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil."
Hmm.
Uh, and I wanted to use that, but kind of mix the words up and make it my own. But when people hear it, they would know, hey, that's from the Bible,
Right.
and that even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I don't fear the evil because I am the evil.
I got you.
And I told him I would never use it, but I just did. Uh, uh, I didn't actually cut a promo, but
No,
yeah.
you're just talking
And he
about it though. You're not
right,
actually
right,
cutting it.
right,
So yeah.
right. And he had told me that he wanted to think about it a little bit, and I go, no problem, man. And he messaged me the next day and said, "Hey, I appreciate you reaching out to me about using the word of God in one of your promos, but I just don't think that it would be right." And I go, "I understand, not a problem.
Yeah.
Um, I'll work my way around it. I'll use different words." And
Hmm.
he was very thankful that I thought about that
Right.
because he
Well,
he
it's
too is
respect.
very scared. Right, it's
Yeah.
respect. I'm not trying to demolish anyone's religion. I'm not to demolish my own thoughts on religion. Like
Right.
I respect everyone and what they believe, and that's fine.
Yep.
Um, so he was very thankful because he too is very skeptical about me playing the devil.
I got
But
you.
even though this same pastor, he helped me create the character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm always going to him
Yeah.
uh, to ask, hey, would this be all right? Would that be all right? Can I say this, but in a different tone? And there's a lot of stuff that he'll say, yeah, that works. And there's some stuff that he'll say that I just don't think that's the right thing to say
Right.
right there. Now you know it,
Hmm.
and then I'll write a promo down, and next thing you know, it's up on social media, and I've I literally use everything to cut promos. I've all the movies I've seen with villains, I try to incorporate almost every villain that I know of and that it sounds weird, that I cherish to make this character.
Hmm.
And a lot of people ask me where the name Xander Greysin came from.
Hmm.
And now the name Xander, I don't know if you remember the movie Triple X with Vin Diesel.
I do.
Uh, Old movie.
Uh-huh.
But Vin Diesel's name in that movie was Xander.
Okay.
So he's a daredevil. He was doing crazy stuff, just being a badass.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I like the name Xander.
Hmm.
Uh, and then Dick Grayson. from Batman's son.
Mhm.
I like the last name Greysin,
Yep.
but I wanted to make it feel more evil. So instead of Gray, like the color gray with the E there, just to kind of confuse people, but then instead of SONSIN
For
and have
sin.
it
Yeah.
be for sin, exactly.
Yeah.
That way people can just see off my name without even seeing a picture of me. They know that that person is a bad guy or that person's evil.
Right.
So when we figured out the name, now it was just time to figure out who I would manage and
Mhm.
who would be the best fit. Rodney Mack and Jazz talked to me a little bit, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna put you with Nathaniel." And me and Nathaniel had go back. Oof, we've known each other 14, coming up on 15 years now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So our chemistry is beyond anyone right now that we work with. So
Yeah.
uh I know him like the back of my hand, and he knows me like the back of his hand. Like is our relationship is that tight. That's why I call him my brother.
Right.
When I say my brother on stage, I literally mean my brother.
Yeah.
But they don't need to worry about that.
Right.
Uh, when they said that they wanted him to be with me, we kind of didn't know where to go because his character was Nate Nasty Nate.
Right.
This cigarette smoking, not breaking rules, just this whole degenerate guy. And it fit perfect, but we just didn't know how to actually make it fit perfect.
Right.
Because Xander Greysin was a manipulative. I'm gonna make you sin, even though it's gonna feel good, but it's the bad thing to do. But in my eyes, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so when Nate and I started just really brainstorming, it felt as if when we found his character, we didn't really know how to make him sound more proper. Because we can't just call him Nate Greysin. It
Right.
doesn't sound right.
Mhm.
We needed to have a full name that flowed with the last name Greysin. And then I was like, well, hey man, why don't we just call you by your birth name, Nathaniel?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I like that. That's proper. And the Greysin family it's like we're not a cult, but we sound like one.
Yeah.
And that's where we want to get people is we want people to feel welcomed to the family, but then once they join, that's when their eyes are really open and they're like, oh crap, what did I just get myself into? And then next thing you know, they have a championship belt or they have a title shot. So it's a lot of fun. But with Nathaniel, we didn't really know how to make it seem like that Xander Greysin found Nate or that Nate found Xander Greysin. So in the beginning, I was just a voice in his head.
I got you.
I don't know if you've seen the promo, but it's we're at a mission downtown San Antonio in front of a St. Mary statue. And so he had kept losing to Haas Holding over and over. He just couldn't get on track. And then when I was like, hey man, so you're on a losing streak, but now you need some help.
Yeah.
How about you call out for help? And
Yeah.
Xander Greysin will respond because he hears you.
Mhm.
Xander Grayson's almost like a false prophet.
Yeah.
But not. I preach, but I don't preach.
Yeah.
And when Nate and I figured that out, we're just like, oh man, this devil voice is going to be perfect And then once we actually show you, oh, it's going to be even better because now Nate's got this manager that is just manipulating his mind left and right. I'm telling things in his right ear, telling different things in his left ear, saying that he's not good enough. And in order to be good enough, you have to beat this person. And so I was telling him over and over, just if you can't beat Haas, this will never work. You will be worth nothing.
Yeah.
And eventually he did beat Haas for the Dogg Pound for Pound Championship. And that was his initiation into the Greysin family.
Right.
He got a whole new look after that, a whole new gear setup. And from that point on, he was Nathaniel Greysin. And then just building off of the Greysin family, finding a family pet to have someone that he can tag with, or just to have someone as just there,
right, like a guard,
just
almost.
having their like a guard, so that nothing can happen to me, or nothing really can happen to Nate, or because I don't do a whole lot of fighting, so I would send the family pet into the ring if I don't want to do it,
right,
or if it didn't make sense, type of thing.
Yeah.
Xander, he is almost torn apart himself on the inside. I've started definitely like looking into my own character, and understanding like why I created him the way he is. He's just as broken on the inside, but worse. He just, nothing ever went his way in his life. He was shunned as a child, and he was left to fend for himself for years. And with being alone, no one helping him, he just became this dark, sadistic person that he does not care what he does to anyone. He doesn't care. He just wants a family. And so that's what I did.
Wow.
I made my own family.
Wow.
And I made it to the point to where we are soon becoming the most feared family in wrestling today.
Dude, I love how you have built such a backstory with it. It reminds me of method acting almost. You have,
right.
It works so well, and it comes across so well. It's a very believable character, and like I said, I'm loving this, just the amount of a backstory that I'm able to get from this.
It really took some time though. I have it all memorized right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it word for word because then we would be talking for 2-3 hours. And I know we don't have that kind of time. So,
right.
But the amount that I put into this, how do I say it without sounding conceited? It really made me feel accomplished.
Yeah, you're proud of your creation.
Right. Yeah. I'm very proud of it. I'm like the monster Frank. I don't remember the scientist, but the scientist that created Frankenstein, he was very proud of his character. It's alive.
Oh, Dr. Frankenstein, and it's his monster. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Frankenstein's the doctor. There we go.
Yeah, bad. No, you're good.
I was like, wait a minute. One of them has a name. I can't remember which one.
Yeah. So there was a couple things that you said along through here that I wanted to ask you about and everything. Who sings the Joker song? Because that sounds like something I would actually like to hear. I'm a big metal fan, things like that. So it kind of sounds like something I would enjoy hearing.
The song, I actually, I wonder if I'd be able to find it right now for you. I think I can. I came across it when I was just, I had hit search in Apple Music, and next thing you know, Joker's song comes up, and I'm like, huh, Joker song. Well, I love the Joker. Let me see what this is all about. It's by Miracle of Sound.
Okay, all right. I just found it actually on my Spotify. Okay, yeah, I'm
There
gonna
you
have to give
go.
that a listen because I'm a big I love DC. DC I think has the best storylines out of comic books.
They
In
really
fact,
do.
one of my favorite storylines. It's not part of the main universe, but
Mhm.
it's a very known story, and that's the Injustice story. I love that one because how dark it
Yes.
is and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Yes. So and I've
You have
actually
no idea how excited you just made me. Oh my goodness. Continue.
so because the Joker is the reason behind all of that. He
Exactly.
what he did. Wow, how do you come back from that? And so it just made sense,
Right.
and just it was such a great storyline, and it went on for I think maybe 5 years or so. And
Mm-hmm.
I just started replaying Injustice, the video game now too. And
The Mortal Kombat one?
well, it has some of the Mortal Kombat characters in it, but this is like Injustice, Gods Among Us, which I guess continues the story
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
yeah,
comic
yeah.
books and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of finishing it up there, and man, it's such a great story.
It really is. It really is. That that storyline itself is just dark beyond belief.
Yeah.
In my eyes or my opinion, I think that's probably one of the darkest stories that DC has put out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anything with the Joker and Batman
Right.
are the darkest stories, I believe. But the Joker's really just everywhere,
Yeah.
and everybody knows the Joker.
Right.
So, um, when when I realized I could incorporate the same style of the Joker with Xander Greysin, that's when it became easier for me to pop into this character, to jump into this character,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and just have everything just come out. I don't care what I'm saying.
Right.
I just know that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense to the crowd or it only makes sense to me, I'm really not trying to make sense to the crowd. I want them to be confused
Yes.
with what I'm saying. But at the same time, I want them to almost want to believe what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
that I can actually give them all the riches in the world, or that they can have with me, they can have a family from every corner, or strength beyond their imagination,
Yeah.
or even a power that they've never had. Not necessarily like a superpower,
Mm-hmm.
just a power within them.
Yeah.
Because I don't have superpowers.
Right.
Xander Grayson doesn't have superpowers.
Right.
I tried to incorporate that at one point, but it wasn't working.
Yeah.
I'm no magician. I can't do fire. Otherwise, I would have tried.
Yeah.
With the flash sheets and everything. I tried it for like maybe a week, and I just couldn't get it down. So I was like, forget it. I don't have a power. It's fine. But I wanted to have the people feel what I'm saying when I'm speaking to them, when I use this just deep devilish voice. Everyone listens to the deep voices because it's so deep. If someone's singing
Right.
and it's a deep voice, everyone stops.
Yep.
If someone's just talking, it's a deep voice, everyone just stops. What do they say at the end? Man, your voice is so deep.
Yep.
And then if I'm saying something in my deep voice, they don't necessarily say at the end, "Oh, your voice is so deep, Xander," but they definitely are pulled in more, and they hear what I'm saying more because my voice is so deep.
Yeah.
And when they hear it, it gives them the opportunity to understand it, but it also gives me the opportunity to manipulate their mind in the way that I want it to be.
Yeah.
In the way that with what I see, I want them to see.
Yeah. So I kind of want to go back to something because I get excited when people want to talk about comic books. Who would you say is your favorite Joker?
Favorite Joker?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, there's so many. Well, if we go with live action, I'm gonna go with Heath Ledger.
Okay.
I loved how he played the insanity part of the Joker. It's unfortunate what happened to Heath, but
Yes.
his character will live on.
Yep.
The Mark Hamill version of the Joker is probably going to be my favorite. Not only because it's Mark Hamill, but just how that character sounds and the script that they used for that Joker. It was just so evil, so dark, so fun to read.
Yeah.
Almost. And I think that I know Mark Hamill did a lot of the Joker's voices.
Yes.
I don't know exactly which ones, but his Joker was my favorite. Now,
Okay.
if we want to talk about looks, I did like the Jared Leto look.
Okay.
I know that's debatable. It's debatable. It's arguable with a lot of different people.
Mhm.
I didn't like the way that he acted in the Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
Um,
The look, though.
it wasn't very good. The look, yeah.
Yeah.
I even got I love the Joker so much that I got that exact same tattoo that Leto has, the ha ha ha's on his chest.
Oh, yeah?
I got that tattooed on my chest. Not for
Oh, cool.
Jared Leto, but for the Joker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's just where I got that idea from.
That's
I don't
cool.
like to get people's faces tattooed on me. That's just weird.
That is a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, maybe if I might get my parents, but I'm not going to get, say, Hayden Christensen from Star Wars or Jared Leto tattooed on my skin.
It's true, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like
Little much.
Who's yeah. Which Joker's your favorite?
So I like the one from Gotham, Cameron Monaghan.
Yes.
I loved how you saw it develop. You saw him go crazier and crazier, and I don't know. So I will have to say Heath Ledger is probably one of my favorites, and you could tell that he grabbed inspiration from Heath Ledger for that character, even with the way like he would do like his mouth movements and things like that. It was very Heath Ledger-esque, but I don't know. And how they split it up, they never really told you, yes, this is the Joker, but we all know that's who it was. His portrayal of that has always been one of my favorites over the last few years. And then obviously with cartoons, it's Hamill. You know, you can't go wrong with Hamill whenever it comes to the Joker. My mind automatically goes to that laugh whenever I think of the Joker.
Exactly. And I believe you hear that laugh in the song, the Joker song.
Okay.
I think it's at the end, but I believe you hear Mark Hamill's laugh. It's faint, but you hear it.
Well, I am definitely looking forward to hearing it. I'll probably listen to it either tonight or tomorrow. I'll
forewarn you though. You listen to it one time, you're probably going to want to put it on repeat. It's a good song. It's good song.
So, would you say? I noticed that you also are like fan of some metal music and stuff like that. I saw that you like maybe Rammstein. And some Ice Nine Kills. Even I think I saw one of your videos. You had them as your background music for one of them. So great stuff. I love their storytelling in Ice Nine Kills.
When I first discovered Ice Nine Kills, I actually became a good fan of them, a really big fan of them. And then, but when they came out with the Silver Scream album, that just told all the horror movies that I grew up with. It was amazing. Just a different way of telling the story.
Right.
But each time that I heard one of those songs from that album, it felt like I was watching the movie.
Yes.
Ice Nine Kills is probably in my top 10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my top I wouldn't say my top five, just because I haven't known them that long.
Right.
Um, top, I'm more into like the heavier Five Finger Death Punch, Metallica.
Okay.
Let's see, Slayer, Lamb of God. I'm into those bands, but I've always been an emo kid. I love the emo music, but when it comes to the heavier stuff or the comparison, if the emo music doesn't have that heavy riff in it, I'm probably not going to listen to
it. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the whiny singing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like to feel my feelings, if you know what I mean.
I got you.
So, that's what those songs bring out, and I'm just like, you know what? I want to be mad for the rest of the day. Let's listen to Five Finger Death Punch, type of thing,
Yeah.
So I am a big metalhead. I've played drums. I haven't played in a while, but at one point I did play for 22 years.
Oh wow.
And I just kind of lost passion to play for him because of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure if I picked up a pair of sticks and someone said, "Here, play this song," I could play any song you need me to.
That's awesome.
I was just that type of drummer. If you play one from Metallica, okay, I'll play that.
Yeah.
Play Lamb of God. Okay, I'll play that. I was the listener player, I would put the headphones in, listen to the song one time and then be like, okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
So big fan of music. My family's is huge on music. I will admit they're not the biggest fans of the metal music, because there is a lot of devilish stuff in it. But it definitely they understand.
Yeah.
That I'm not a bad person. I just like all types of music.
Right. It sounds a lot like me. I was raised in a household that was Southern gospel, and my dad is a pastor of a church. And so, I was raised around music, a Pentecostal pastor of a church, they have all the music there. And, but I like the darker music and stuff like that. And they know that. They don't like that I like it, but they're like, that's who he is. So, that's okay for him. But I love the darker feel of some of that music. What I like to say is metal, it screams when I can't.
Yes. Oh, I thought I was the only one that said that. Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to give you a phone 5.
So, yeah.
Man. Yeah.
That's the way I've always felt about it. It's like you said, sometimes you don't want to feel those emotions and stuff. And it kind of, whenever you're angry, it shows that anger for you, And so, I love it. I'm a big metalhead myself.
Don't get me wrong. I'll listen to some country here and there, but
oh yeah,
I'm not a big fan of country. I'm very particular, very specific in the country songs that I listen to.
Right.
I don't like listening to the Red Solo Cup song. I can't stand that song.
It was overplayed too. So.
But overplayed, yeah. And to me, every country song sings about their trucks and ex-girlfriends and things like that.
I got you.
But there's a couple that I like. The one song. It's called "Dick Down in Dallas." I don't know if I can say that on your podcast. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, that's probably the main one. That's like for any road trip that me and Nate will go on, any road trip that I go on with. It's catchy. Yeah. That's it's the first song that we play. We get on the road and everyone's like, let's put some music on. All right, here we go. Dick Down in Dallas. All right. And it's hilarious sometimes because we're actually going to Dallas.
Okay.
For a show sometimes. So when we play that song, it's like, we're going to get Dick Down and Dallas. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, we make fun of ourselves. We say the weirdest stuff in the road sometimes, but we have a lot of fun. But country's not really my main thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I do like rap and hip hop, the old school rap and hip hop. Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube,
Mm-hmm.
Biggie, or Biggie Smalls, not Biggie. That's the wrestler. Whoops. Um, right. So many things going through my mind right now.
Oh, you're good.
I like the old
Yeah.
school rap.
Yeah.
But I was born 1990, so my older siblings showed me the old school rap, and that's what kind of got me into that. And then brother's friend showed me rock music, and then I got into that. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm just into all types of music. So
Yeah.
I'll really listen to everything. But like I said, I'm a metalhead. That's the
Yep.
first genre I go to when I start playing music.
Man, like I said, it sounds a lot like me. That's the same way with me. I'll listen to all of it. I've actually had quite a few country music guests on this show and stuff. And,
nice.
I like a lot of the songs that they have and stuff, and I'm big supporters of them. But then there's a lot of the country that's come out nowadays that I'm not a fan of it. If I'm going to listen to country, a lot of times I'll listen to like 80s or 90s stuff, and the stuff that I heard when I was a kid. So that's just my go-to. And usually when I go to rap, I'll either go with the ones that you mentioned, or I was in the Memphis area for most of my growing up. And so I listened to a lot of the like the down south, dirty south type of rap music. So you've got like you've got your 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, things like that, Paul Wall,
Yin Yang Twins,
Yin Yang Twins, all of those. That's what I listened to because that's what was popular where I was at whenever I was growing up. So it's funny because my wife, she's like, don't do that. I'll just get in that mood and I'll be like, yeah, I'm listening to this. And she's like, no, don't.
Yeah. And it's just because we're not that color that we're not allowed to listen to that music, right?
Exactly.
I say that with love. If that makes anyone mad, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, definitely. If I turn on hip hop or if I turn on rap, my mood swing change, and all of a sudden I feel like a gangster. So I'm like, yeah, I can take on anyone.
Yeah.
Start walking with the pimp walking and throw my shoulder a little too far back, but
a little shoulder lean. Yeah.
Yeah. Lean back like Fat Joe.
So there was one story that I wanted to bring up before I get you off of here, and it's something that so I was following you on Instagram. You probably already know about this a little bit. And I started getting messages from your Instagram account saying that you wanted me to advertise for some kind of thing that was coming up. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I just started, interacting with you and Nathaniel and everything because I just found you guys. And so it started getting weirder and weirder. The questions that were being asked, and there were pictures that were sent to me and then they would be deleted and, just different things like that. And so I sent Nathaniel a message and it turned out you had been hacked. And all this time I thought I had been talking to you.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Everyone went a little because I got hacked a few months ago. I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, man, these guys are getting smarter and smarter.
I know.
But yeah, they were posting things on Instagram saying that I did this and got like $10,000 just by doing this or something.
Yeah.
And they went through one of our other wrestlers, Stewie the Clown, and that's how I got hacked because I'm so close with that guy because he was my first member to the Greysin family. He's not a part of it anymore, but he was the first one that we were testing things out with.
Okay.
So him and I did a lot of work together, and so when he messaged me, hey man, I need some help. I was like, of course, bro, I got you. What's wrong? Can you send me this information to help me do this? And I was like, of course, dude, I got you.
Yeah.
And it being social media and it's saying that it's Stewie, like, okay, yeah,
Right.
I got it. You know what?
Yep.
Let me help him out. Next thing you know, I'm hacked. And I was just
no.
like, hey, Stewie, your account got hacked. Oh, how'd you know? Because you hacked my account, loser. Your account hacked my account, man.
Yeah.
Like, man, I hate you for this right now. So for a while, I didn't recreate the Xander Greysin page just so it would kind of die down. And I think right now, yesterday, I got a message, almost the same exact format from a different person that I've known for years that I used to work with at a restaurant called Stoneworks. He messaged me, hey man, can you help me with a favor? And I respond back, what's that? Just to kind of give them a little tickle, you know, because maybe it actually is him. But if he says the same thing, if he responds, then they might be trying to hack the Xander Greysin page again, and I'm not going to let that happen. But I'm going to message, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll message that guy through my personal page and see if he's messaging.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of weird that he's going through my Xander page.
Right. It's actually happened a few times. I actually recently, another wrestler that's in Oklahoma that I've actually had on the show sent me a message the other day, and he was like, man, can I borrow $100 or $200 and I'll pay you back tomorrow? I was like, I don't think that's you, man. Turned out he had been hacked as well. So, and then somebody actually got hacked, and they sent me a message on Twitter, and that's Rodney Mack. He sent me some link on there. I didn't click on it, and found out that he actually had been hacked because he started sending me kissy faces and stuff on there. I was like, I don't think Rodney Mack.
That's not Rodney Mack.
Exactly. So
I know that man.
Yeah,
I trained with that man. He does not send kissy faces.
So whenever I sent him a message, he said, man, I think you got hacked. And he was like, yeah, thanks. I got it under control now. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think that was you sending me kissy faces. And he just laughed it off. So
hey, if you can make Rodney Mack laugh, shoot, more power to you, man. That boy, that man has a straight face like no other.
Yeah. He's one I'm going to try to get on. I was supposed to have had him on a while, maybe about a month ago or so, and then something came up and he wasn't able to make it. So I've got to get him rescheduled because I'm really looking forward to having him on as well.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. He's a great guy. Both Rodney Mack and Jazz are two great coaches. I would not be where I'm at in professional wrestling without them. I'm sure if I joined professional wrestling but went to a different school, I would still be doing the same type of character, but it wouldn't be as good as it is now. Because at the Dogg Pound Dojo, we practice wrestling, we practice the fundamentals, the technical side, the psychology of the wrestling, and they teach us how to word promos correctly, how to get your opponent over and yourself over without tearing yourself down or tearing the opponent too much down.
I got you.
Or without making it go 3.5 minutes. Because in honesty, if someone's cutting a 3.5 minute promo, I'm changing the channel. I'm sorry. You lost me at 1.5 minutes. I'm done. So they've helped me so much with wrestling and with being a manager. They are training me to wrestle, but with my epilepsy, I am very limited on what I can do inside the ring.
Right.
So I don't, when they train matches or when they're just chaining, I'll chain with them. So I know how to chain wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do any of the body slams or anything like that. I'll do minimal stuff, but they've taught me stuff that I didn't think I knew, but when they said, here, do this, this, and this, I did it.
Right.
Without even hesitation. Yeah. My very first class with them, first time meeting Rodney Mack, first time meeting Jazz. Nate had said, "Hey, come to class on Monday. We'll get you set up." I went to class. They started to do matches, and they're like, "Hey, Pete, go get in there and ref." And I was like, "What do you mean ref? This is my first day. Like, I'm rubbing my hands. Like, what's going on? I feel like I'm so scared and nervous. How do you ref? It's just counting 1, 2, 3, right?"
Yeah.
Well, I get in there, and it almost just it felt natural. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched so much wrestling in my life that when I got in the ring, I felt comfortable. When when the pre-match or the match started,
Hmm.
I just there were mistakes that I made as a ref, but I mean, it was my first day.
Right.
It was my
Yeah.
first day. So, but other than those mistakes, they said, "Have you done this before?" No, no, coach. No, just watched it on TV.
Yeah.
You look like you've been in it for a while. No, it just clicks. I'm
Yeah.
a quick learner.
Yeah.
Photogenic memory. Like, they were really impressed with my reffing skills. So that's what I did for a little bit. Is I reffed until the Xander Greysin and the Greysin family were created. And once they were created, then they asked me, which do you want to do? Do you want to ref or do you want to be Xander Greysin?
Yeah.
And I told them, I love reffing, but I love playing this character more.
Hmm.
I'm happy with this character, and then they respect that completely. They just they needed to know, so they didn't like book me for a different show to be a ref somewhere. But I'm like, oh wait, you're a ref, but you were Xander Grayson the last match. What happened? Like, I can't be doing both.
Yeah. I got you. And that says a lot to them that they were able to spot that in you, and they were able to cultivate to where you're at now, and able to work with you, even with, like you said, you do have some restrictions. So it's really cool that it shows how great a teacher that they are.
Right. When they were kind of skeptical at first when I told them about my seizures.
Yeah.
But I told them I had them under control. I told them that I know when one's about to happen. I'm very blessed to know when one's about to happen. A lot of other people they just happen.
Yeah.
But when I told them about it, they kind of gave me that look like, we don't know. We'll see. But then I got the first okay from my doctor to be a part of it, and once I told them that, then they said, "All right, player, we're gonna make this happen. Welcome to the Dogg Pound, pup." And I was just like, it was such a small moment, but it was such a heartwarming moment for myself. Like, that's Rodney Mack and Jazz.
Right.
That's the fighting female phenom Jazz.
Yep.
And that's Rodney Mack.
Yep.
Like, two people that never did I think that I would meet. And here I am getting trained by two Hall of Famers.
Right.
One's current NWA, and one we're hoping that she gets inducted within the next 2 to 3 years. We're always egging her about it, like, hey, when's WWE gonna put you in the Hall of Fame? But
she should have been in there years ago too.
That's what we keep telling her.
Yeah.
But we're also telling her, hey, that moment's coming, Jazz. That moment's coming.
Yep.
So, like, it's so cool to even have their numbers in my phone.
Right.
And, like, these are former WWE wrestlers.
Right.
I watched them as a kid, and here I am with their phone numbers in my phone. I'm texting them on a daily basis.
Is the inner 12-year-old screaming when that happens?
Yeah. Excuse me, my voice just got high.
No, you're good.
But my inner 12-year-old's coming out right now. Like, it's just insane. Just to have them in my phone, and just being able to talk to them for advice or anything about wrestling, or if you just want to talk to them, just talk to them. And, like, I can't do that with any of the other famous people that I know,
right?
That I wish I knew, I should say.
Yeah.
but they're so welcoming and so helpful with everything
Mm-hmm.
as with wrestling, with your life, because they've seen and done it all.
Yeah.
If you've made a mistake, they've made that same mistake at some point in their life.
Right.
If you messed up here, they've messed up at that same point.
Yep.
So they have the advice.
Mm-hmm.
I would be stupid to not take their advice. And I love working with them. I love training with them. They are top-notch people, top-notch wrestlers. I can't wait for Jazz to get in the ring again, but we don't know if that's gonna happen. But you know,
Yeah.
she's itching. You know, I'll let her tell you that, but
Oh yeah.
she definitely is always like mentioning from time to time, man, if I was in the ring with you guys, it'd be a totally different story, you know, and you know, like that's her just like talking smack without actually offending anyone.
Right.
They're always like, well, let's get in the ring, Jazz. Oh no, not tonight. Soon enough, soon enough. You know, so we have a lot of fun to practice.
That's cool.
It's we're one big family that's just growing by the day.
Yeah.
We have new people coming into the school. We have people coming from NWA. We have people coming from other schools just to check us out,
Mm-hmm.
see what we're about, why people are talking about us so much. When that's going on, that really shows me I'm with the right people.
Yes.
When it comes to the wrestling profession.
Right.
I'm being taught by the right people.
Yep.
And I hope they hear this, but I cannot thank them enough.
Yeah.
I've told them in person, but again, if they hear this podcast, I hope they listen to the whole thing.
So if people want to follow you, where can they do that?
They can find me on Twitter at Xander_Greysin. And then they can find me on Instagram at Greysin_Xander. Greysin is spelled Greysin. Xander is spelled with an X, not a Z. Xander. Then you can also find me on Facebook at Xander Greysin. Yeah.
All right.
There's no underscore or anything. So I don't have I think those are the only ones that I have. That's all of them, right?
Yeah. That's the major ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the major ones. There's other ones, but I don't use them for Xander Greysin.
So is there anything coming up that maybe you want to maybe announce or anything, like a show that you guys are going to be at?
Well, we do have a show May 6th, this weekend, in Comfort, Texas. They can find all the information on either the Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling social media, or they could go to Xander Greysin's social media and they can find the flyer there.
Okay.
But we have a show called Total Madness coming up.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to see the newest member of the Greysin family, the Wolf, debut with the Greysin family. He's already debuted in DPCW, but he hasn't debuted with the Greysin family yet.
Okay.
So this will be his first match with me. And then the following weekend, May 13th, I believe it is, we'll be in Castroville, Texas. We'll have a flyer coming out for that. I want to say either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay.
And those are the two closest shows right now.
Okay. So is there any words that you want to say to my listeners directly before I get you off of here?
To your listeners, let me see. Yes. I would like to let them know that we are all children born into the darkness of this inadequate world. Children that have become weak and bounded by their chains. The Greysin family, your new family, has come to free all of you, and that we are your freedom. We are the Greysin family. We are family strength.
All right, man. Well, it has been great having you on the show. I have really enjoyed talking to you. And I hope that maybe I can get
It's
you
been
back
a lot of
on
fun.
here real soon.
Most definitely, man. Just let me know. I will be back here as soon as possible.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that episode with Xander Greysin. I had a lot of fun talking to him, and I can't wait to maybe get him back on the show again here in the future. So I've got some really cool episodes that are coming up here really soon, and I can't wait for you guys to hear them. Just stay tuned to my social media, and I will be announcing who will be coming on next. But you will be happy with the people that I have coming on. And yeah, just stay tuned. I'm, like I said, very excited. If you want to follow me on social media so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on with iGadap, then you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Hive, Snapchat, or TikTok. I'm on all of those. On Facebook, it is at IYGADAP. On Instagram, it is at Give a Dad a Podcast. And on Hive and Twitter, it is at DadPodcast11. On TikTok and Snapchat is the same as my Facebook. It is at iGadap. So you can follow me on any of those to make sure that you are able to keep up with what is going on with the show. I update all of those regularly. So yeah, just follow me on those and send me a message. If you want to hear somebody on the show, send me a message and I'll try to get them on. I've told you before, I've had requests and I've been able to get those people on the show. So yeah, if you have something you want me to talk about, let me know. Also, if you want to send me an email, you can do so by sending it to giveadatapodcast@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. It always brightens my day when I do hear something from you guys. I had a message from a guy the other day telling me to keep up the good work, and really made me smile, and I thank you for that. I like to bring you these episodes, and I am happy when I know that you guys are happy with what you're hearing. Also, as you're listening to this episode, if you could, go and do me a favor. Go to the top or the bottom of whatever device that you're listening on or whatever platform that you're listening on and rate and review this episode. Let me know what you think. Whether you like it, whether you don't, let me know so I know that what I'm bringing to you is what you want to hear. Like I said, I love hearing from you guys, and I love the feedback whenever you tell me that you like an episode, or you don't even. I've had a few people that didn't like some of my episodes, and that's okay. My show's not for everybody, but, for those that do like it, I do appreciate you. So I want to give a shout out to both of my podcast networks. You've heard me talk about them many times. I have the OIW Podcast Network that I've been a part of for a little while now. And I'm also part of the Avenue Podcast Network now as well. So go out there, look up their stuff. I will have links to their stuff in my show notes to where you can find some of these other awesome podcasts. They've got all kinds of stuff that you can listen to, whether you like travel podcasts or horror story podcasts, or if you want to listen to more wrestling podcasts. There's all kinds of stuff that you can find. So go out there, check out their stuff, and give them some love as well. I do have merch that's coming. I'm waiting on my prints to come in the mail, and I will be posting pictures of that. It will be through Cups and Teas by Stasha is where all of my stuff will be coming from. You've seen my stickers. You've probably, if you've seen me in person, you've seen my shirt that I wear around. I've got the QR code on the back. I've got all kinds of stuff that's coming out. I'm excited to get this stuff dropped to where you guys can see it and maybe order some of it. That way you can support if you give a dad a podcast. And also, she has all kinds of other stuff available in her Etsy shop and the stuff that she posts on Facebook and Instagram as well. Go out there, check out her stuff. She has all kinds of shirts and hats and mugs and tumblers and you name it, she's probably got it. So go out there and follow Cups and Teas by Stasha. I will have a link to her stuff in my show notes as well. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to D-Cure. He is the man who created my ending theme song on my show. I really appreciate him. Awesome guy. He is currently making music. He's making a new album with every letter of the alphabet. So right now I believe that he is about to come out with L. So just go out there and look up his stuff. He has all kinds of great music that he's done, and I'm very appreciative of him. I will also have a link to him in my show notes. If you have a hard time finding any of this stuff, just go to the show notes. I will have links to my podcast networks, to anything that you need. I also have my Linktree on there as well if you want to find my social media pages. I love you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Room rounded, but I got a podcast on. He calls us beautiful people, then tells us who we have on. The best part of my day, though we're blocked out in my pods. Tell my friends all about it so that they follow along. And the host is kinda nerdy, but guess what, I am as well. I don't feel so alone, and I began walking out of my shell. Heard a story, I need a connection I haven't felt. I'll be looking for the next one, till then farewell. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. Listen closely, download and tune in remotely. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. And listen closely, download and tune in remotely.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.